Morning, everybody, and welcome to Real Talk. Decided to come back a little early this time because there's been some news. When I woke up this morning, I got several emails notifying me of many of the channels I'm subscribed to here that Rotten Tomatoes has taken action against the anticipation meter of their website. You know, there used to be a want to see it versus not interested. Now, for Captain Marvel, it's only if you want to see it. And I've looked at all the other upcoming films like Avengers Endgame, Star Wars Episode 9, and basically any other ones I can think of. And it seems, yeah, they've taken down, you know, your ability to say whether or not you're interested in it. It's only if you want to now. And so it's funny. I've also looked at comicbook.com. You know, I saw that they were saying that Rotten Tomatoes is now protecting the movie against trolls. And it's just funny. It's a real fascinating thing to me. Um, did Rotten Tomatoes take down, change their website to protect one film? Captain Marvel was so important that once it got so low, I think it got to like around what, 27% wanted to see it. So you're going to change it? You're going to change everything just to protect Carol Danvers? It's this whole thing over the last year, ever since I first saw The Last Jedi, and once I start looking around seeing what people thought of this and because it's kind of funny, it goes back to The Last Jedi. When I first saw it, I was like, okay. Then the more I thought about it, the more I was like, what the fuck did they just do? And as my thoughts about the film began to, just deteriorate, I looked up and just saw what other people thought. And then, I found this community, of course, that refers to itself as the Fandom Menace. And I saw like how websites like comicbook.com or Screen Rant, or I'm not sure if it's Screen Rant, but how many websites have just taken this hostile tone towards fans. How instead of, used to be, like I've worked customer service for like 20 years. If the customer's dissatisfied, you say you're sorry, and you do your best to make it right. Now, I guarantee you 9 times out of 10, that person's thinking, go fuck yourself. But you can't do that because you got to stay in business. If you make the customers unhappy, they're just going to take their money somewhere else. But it appears that that philosophy has not translated to the entertainment world. And that's why it fascinates me seeing this huge disconnect. When fans voice their displeasure, it seems that now movie studios and other entertainment outlets are telling fans where to stick it. And it's like I'm seeing this and I'm like, I myself am wondering, it's like, I'm not so much angry at the pushback. I'm like, what exactly are you doing? I mean, what is your plan here? How do you expect this to work out for you? I mean, we could all have just been trolls. Like after The Last Jedi, when all the Lucasfilm employees just start clapping back at us, we start wondering, it's like, okay, are we not that big? Are there's that many of them? I mean, is there that many people that enjoyed this film that you can afford to just abandon the fans that don't like it? I was proven kind of false with Solo. Apparently, there's not that many of them that enjoy this. And when you tell people, it's just like my last video. When you come out there and you do in your marketing and you tell people and you start speaking negatively against people in any way, you're saying no to money. Now, you can frame Brie Larson's comments about representation and critical reviews and all the things she said and the feminist slant that she's taking. You can frame that any way you want. But the problem is, you're supposed to ingratiate yourself to everybody in hopes of that they will see your film. Taking these abrasive stances, taking these, clapping back at fans, at people that don't like it, it's not going to work it's not going to work out positively for you. I mean, you can make a lot of money, but you're saying no to money the way you're doing this. And with Captain Marvel, going back to that, do you think that noticeably changing your website overnight is going to somehow help this film? Do you think having Zach Levi go out there and support the film, it's like saying this doesn't help us in any way? I mean, for one thing, who cares about your film? I mean, I might see it, but I don't see how talking trash about Captain Marvel has anything to do with him. The fact of the matter is, what you're doing isn't working. People don't like it, and they're showing it. I mean, you could say we're trolls all day. I mean, you can't say I'm a troll. Last night, before you took everything down, I actually said I wanted to see it. And I'm still going to see it, because the Marvel Cinematic Universe means that much to me. But the fact of the matter is, we are not trolls. We're not bots. When you put something out there, people either like it or they don't. It's not our responsibility to like it. And if you attack your audience, I mean, you are this is the most literal representation of biting the hand that feeds you that you can get. And it's obviously because I wondered, after Solo and the media kept attacking the fans and kept, so many websites were talking about, toxic fandom. I was like perplexed. What exactly are you going to get out of this? But the more this goes on, it just seems like there is no grand plan. It's just a delusion. So we'll see what happens with Captain Marvel. It's like I'm fascinated to see how this keeps going. And I hope it's a good movie. For their sake, for the whole MCU's sake. Because if they continue that, because it's like I said last time, I see this monster. I see the same thing I'm seeing with Star Wars. I'm seeing the same thing I saw with Ghostbusters. They are pandering to an audience that doesn't exist, to people that aren't going to help them. And they're attacking the only thing that's going to make them successful. And that's us. Anyway, I'll probably say a little bit more when I got a little bit more to say. Till then, good times have all. Take care of everybody.